Because in war, there's the winning side and there's the losing side, and you always know who the winner is, and you always know who the loser is. And you know it if you're on the inside experiencing it, and you know it on the outside when it's being reported or just through strategical deduction. It feels easy. This side won and this side lost. And most people follow that thought with thoughts about financial implications, territories, displacement, just the concrete things, the logical things, but they don't usually follow it with this moral question that the narrator presents to the listener and to war itself. And because it's such a loaded question, him saying, "Tell me," is so beautiful and haunting because it shows vulnerability in the face of great tragedy, and it shows the weight of the question becoming so heavy that um, it shows humans looking for answers where sometimes there are none. Humans asking for help in times of conflict, trying to make sense of it, to explain death and to explain chance. Why did that person die and that other person lived? Who decides on that? Who lives and who dies? And am I at fault? Did me surviving, is it at the expense of someone else's life? And tell me, it demands an answer. Tell me, there's debate in it, moral debate, but also human urgency. And if we think about this sounding like the narrator is addressing the entity of war, then asking war for this kind of answer, because who can you ask? When the dust settles and the sound of the guns, the echo dies out, and dust rains down over all, who can you ask? Who do you ask? The people that were with you and survived? Do you ask the dead? The opposite side, the aggressor? Do you ask the world that's been watching all along? Do you ask yourself and expect a clear-headed answer following great trauma? Each one of those would give a very different answer, and so who can you ask? You ask war itself. It should know. You stare ahead into all of its black and you wait for an answer. And what kind of answer will it give? Will war be fair? Will it be truthful, sincere? Will it deceive? And this is a crazy powerful line. There in your writing is a whole force. This is just insane. I keep thinking about this line. The way that the narrator says, "Tell me who's the winner." It's just, it's so loaded and it's so beautiful, and it's just, it's stuck in my brain. I keep thinking about it. Um, and then the narrator replies to himself, but also to war, and he says, "Everybody's a sinner." And as a statement, this blows your mind as the listener because it delivers truth in such a blunt way, straightforward, that soothes the victims and humbles the winner. And it gives the victims this feeling that they have been facing a brutal enemy and that the battle, the fight, was cold and heartless because of that, cruel and vicious and lacking in anything human at all. And it gives the winner, who's been walking around with an illusion of grandeur, something to think about. Maybe you have won land, maybe you've won financial gain, but you lost on the human front, on the moral front. You're a sinner. And I love how he asks this of war because um, every day-to-day people shouldn't really know or account for this. It makes sense that war would know as it sees all the aftermaths and all the outcomes. Tell me who's the winner. And because the narrator would expect war to know that um, everyone is corrupt and that in war all the dark sides of people that they suppress in times of normalcy and peace come up to the surface and show all of their plethora of faces. Um, War knows everything. It sees the bullet inside the pocket, the gun clasped behind the back. It sees the mouth that snitches. It sees money exchanging hands, causing documents to disappear off office desks. It sees rows of people um, with their fates about to be decided by people who are standing behind them. And it sees vows of protection broken, someone who promised to keep the others safe and turned on them, exposed them to save his own life. Um, the devil walks the battlefields and city streets in times of war. I don't know if you've seen this movie. It's called Devil. It came out in 2010, and it's about five strangers that get stuck in an elevator, and weird things start to happen. Each one of those people did something bad in their lives. Each carries a sin, and one of them starts killing the others because one of them is the devil in disguise. And the whole premise of the movie is the devil coming um, to, um, because each one of them has sinned and he's there, he's come to take them because they have been corrupt, and neither one of them has ever asked for forgiveness for what they've done to others. And the ending is crazy, and the whole movie is so intense. I don't get spooked easily, but this one is still scary to watch, and I've watched it about 7 times, I think. It's so complex and filled with clues all throughout, and it just keeps you guessing who the devil is, and you don't expect it to be who he turns out to be in the end. Um, if you haven't watched it, it's Chris recommended. Um, but the thing I wanted to say is the beginning of the film, the devil ascends to earth. He arrives to take his souls, and there's this crazy shot, the opening shot with the credits, where the whole city in bird view is flipped upside down. It's this sweeping shot, continuous, and right after, bad things start to happen because of his presence on earth, like little accidents that turn deadly. Um, like in the movie The End of Days, where the devil, played by Gabriel Byrne, sees a kid. I'm sure you've seen this movie, but he sees a kid on a skateboard with a Satan Rules shirt on, and the kid runs into him and curses him out, and the devil compliments the kid, and he says, "Hey, I like the shirt." And the kid says, "Screw you." And then he goes to skate across the street, and in all of the traffic noise, the devil whispers to him, and he says, "Hey, kid." And the kid hears that small private whisper, and he turns around and he gets hit by a vehicle. And the devil smiles and shrugs, and he says, "Nice shirt." Um, and like a little whisper caused a catastrophe. And in the movie with the devil in the elevator, little bad things start to happen, tiny things that go wrong that lead to death. And it's because the devil walks the earth that day. The devil walks the earth and everything goes wrong. And it even starts with this really chilling quote. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour." Um, By the way, if you want to watch this and not run into spoilers, don't look for it on YouTube because it spoils the devil's true identity in the thumbnail.